Hello, everyone, and welcome to From Pin to Publish, Protecting Creativity While Delivering at Scale. We're super excited to have you join us today because we're talking about one of our favorite topics, how to stay creative while still hitting your deadlines and not losing your sanity. So, just a quick intro.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Thank you.
Just a quick intro to our team. We have, first of all, Sada from Pinterest,
Hello.
Kenny and I from Contentoo, and our amazing designer, Lucas.
Woo.
So, between all of us, I feel like we've all seen how hard it can be for marketing teams. We have to keep up with demands while also protecting ourselves, our sanity, our creativity. So, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, little agenda before we get started. First, we'll start with some of our research on what's really happening inside content teams. Then Sada will show you how Pinterest helps brands stay inspired. And then we'll also share how me and Penny turn those big ideas into actual campaigns. And then, of course, Lucas will walk us through how he uses Pinterest for his creative process, first for inspiration, and then how he uses Contentoo for his actual execution, which is kind of like a perfect example of where both worlds come together.
You're dead right. But next slide, please. Before we jump into the chaos that is marketing right now, quick intro. Sarah, if you could just click one more time, please. So, who or what is a Contentoo? For those of you who don't know, hi, we're Contentoo. In simple terms, we help marketing teams do great work without losing their minds. Not by throwing those overly complicated tools at you or pretending that AI will do a better job for you. We believe marketing should still be creative, thoughtful, and most importantly, human. Not like what it feels like right now, which is a never ending sprint powered by caffeine, chaos, and hope. Um, so, what does that mean? We'll do a little bit about how it works and then we'll dive into some of our research. So, we help you organize the chaos so that your tasks don't disappear into the void because we've all been there. We bring humans and AI together, like I said, but in a way that makes sense. We believe in using AI in the right way for speed, for execution, but humans for literally everything else. And through all that, we help you scale your content without sacrificing your creativity or your brand and quality standards. So that way you can have always more content when needed, enter new markets when you need to, and make sure that everything is always on brand.
So, back to the research. This year at Contentoo, we surveyed over 150 marketeers and we had 15 in depth interviews. So, around all of these interviews and all of this data, we kept seeing the same pattern: overworked teams, under resourced, and always stuck on the hamster wheel. So, talking about actual numbers, we found that 86% of content teams feel under resourced and overwhelmed like all of the time. And that's not okay, guys.
Not okay.
It's not. So, that's where we are today. We, as teams, are producing more and more content for more channels. But of course, when you do this much work, creativity is always the first thing to go. So, like, I know myself, for example, even with all the tools and the tech and all the help, it's just impossible to do good work when you're just trying to keep up and survive. So, I don't know how many times I've actually felt like, okay, I'm gonna leave my creative work to the end of the day. And then I'm just staring at my screen and I'm like drained, broken, and, not surviving. It's actually brutal out here, guys. So, this is why our whole thing is about supporting marketers, but not replacing them. Like, you can't be replaced by AI, I'm sorry. It's the truth. So we want to help you get the right people, the right systems, and the right tech in place so that work feels like progress and not constant like panic at the disco. And this industry should be a playground. Like, that's what we believe. It should be like a playground and not a treadmill. We need less of the chaos and the complexity and more space to breathe and more systems to be creative ourselves. So, in like a few words, we want more, oh my God, this is so exciting, and less like send help vibes.
Please.
Please.
Next slide, please.
So this is our motto.
Better.
Marketers deserve better.
And next slide as well, please. Sorry. So, like we were just talking about, you can't work under pressure. Like, good ideas need time to marinate. Any marketer or any creative will tell you that the best ideas definitely don't show up when you're rushing them or you're trying to force them. It's like going shopping or going thrifting. You only find like actual gems when you're not looking, but when you have money to burn, you need to buy something for tomorrow, you can't find anything.
She really knows. She's a thrift queen.
Like creativity doesn't show up in back-to-back meetings under fluorescent lighting. Like those are not the situations we need in order to be creative. Like it arrives for me like in showers, on a walk, or over a lunch chat with my friend. Like this, we have a quote here from a great book. If you haven't read The Creative Act, I highly recommend it to any marketer or anyone who works in a creative way, because it really is like the creativity Bible. Rick Rubin says you can't force great ideas, you just have to create space for them to appear. So anyway, that's what we're talking about today. Later, Nika and I will get into how our very tiny but mighty team actually gets a lot of really cool stuff done, but with the proper support and structure. But first, Sarah is going to show you how Pinterest helps you press pause, slow down, and just get inspired again. Take it away, Sarah.
Let me start with a thank you to Penny and to Nika, but also to Lucas. Of course, I'm super happy to be here, and I'm super happy that we were able to find the right hook in between the three of us, the four of us in this case. But I'm really here to welcome you all the marketers, all the social media managers, the designers, and the brands too on Pinterest after this amazing introduction, because basically this is exactly what we want to show you today. So I want to start setting the tone with the next slide that is quite, bold, saying that a couple of years ago in 2023, we did a research as a company with Berkeley University in their science centers. And what we discovered interviewing people was that basically scrolling 10 minutes on Pinterest can really help people in preventing from burnout, recharge a little bit the mind, find the right energy to move forward. And I'm saying this to you all today because this is what we need to think about. This is the mindset that we need to have when we start our journey on Pinterest. But if we start searching for things, or if we want to bring our strategy, our content strategy, our e-commerce strategy, we need to keep in mind that it's a platform where people want to feel safe, want to see themselves represented, want to feel that they are having a pose and projecting life and doing and dreaming. So I'm telling you this because we will discover how to bring content on Pinterest, what could be the good strategy, but at the end of the day, we are aware of what Penny and Nika were sharing with us today. So we really need to find a way to breathe and to remember that this is a job. This is not like surviving. So we need to find a way to make it funny. So let's get back on Pinterest. So I know that we could possibly have a lot of questions. There is the chat below, so please add your question there. As you may have understood, I'm not English, I'm from Italy. And my accent is quite evident. So from my accent is quite evident. I'm based in Milano and I'm part of Pinterest since 2020. But the more I get into the platform, the more I need to remember that Pinterest is a different place. No, I'm here for. I've been in the company for 4 years, but every time I open the app, I remember why I love it, because basically Pinterest allow me to discover new things, uh, give a shape to an idea that I don't know how to realize, because we're different. No, this is something that is quite shared everywhere. So basically, when you think about Pinterest, think about something that is a mix in between a social media where you basically can share your content and you can build your community. It's basically a visual search engine. So everything is related to keyword and SEO, and that word is combined with the social media aspect. But there is also part of the platform that is very focused on supporting everything is related to the shopping experience. So we are a mix, an intersection of this 3 dimension. So the moment we decide to start a strategy on Pinterest, a content strategy, a social media strategy on Pinterest, let's keep in mind that we can find different dimension in which we can, support our business. We have, as of today, more than 678 million of users that every month come on the platform and look for some ideas, look for understanding how to make a project, how to renew their house, how to discover new recipes. So a lot of different things, but with the same mindset. That's why when we think about the Pinterest audience, so when we think about how can I develop a strategy on Pinterest, let's keep in mind that you have people on the platform that are aligned with what I showed you before. So people that want to see a positive platform, people that want to look for specific things, people that maybe want to buy something, but also people that have their habits on the platform. So imagine, I can tell you very easily how the audience on Pinterest is. It's not the audience that look for things on the couch while he's watching Netflix or another, pay TV platform and scrolling on the phone and doing other 150 things at the same time. Is the platform where people look for things on Saturday morning with their matcha tea and a very, very, concrete intention of discovering things. So based on that, of course, you will also need to adapt your strategy when you come on Pinterest to this type of audiences. And another big difference compared to other platforms, they're also set up the tone of voice, set up the type of intention you need to have when you build strategy, content strategy on Pinterest, is that when you will bring your content on the platform, they won't last 24, 48 hours. It's a platform where a content can technically work forever. So basically, I do work with creators and I do work with different type of partners that keep saying to me, I created this content for Christmas 3 years ago, and it keep working every year, starting from September. It keep giving me visualization, impressions, and engagement. Because the moment you create a nice content, a good content that is aesthetically appealing, aesthetically aligned with the platform, with the right keywords, it can be your partner forever. So this to tell you that you can maybe do not have the same rush that you have on other platform when it comes to content creation on Pinterest. And last but not least, it's true that when you talk about Pinterest, you maybe imagine that we are in the same dimension, in the same environment of other social media platform. But the truth is that Pinterest is not just a platform. It's also a tool for content creators, for marketers, brands, publishers. And the way you will use it will bring you different results. You can definitely create your portfolio on Pinterest, and we will see how in a few minutes. But basically, you can use Pinterest to showcase your activities, your business, your projects directly on your profile. You can build an audience that is not just based on followers, is an audience that can go beyond your country, that can be a global audience, because the moment you are able to set up the content in the right way, with the right keywords, in the language you prefer, you'll be able to reach people that are based outside your country and outside your comfort zone. You can definitely use Pinterest as a traffic driver, especially if you have a blog, you have a website, you have an e-commerce. You can build a strategy where links are welcomed. So basically, you can add links to all the type of content that we are allowed to create on Pinterest, starting from the simple image to the videos to the collage, and understand what could be the better way for you to drive traffic to your platform. But you can definitely also use Pinterest as a brand partnership platform. There is a way for creators and social media managers, in general brands, to create brand partnership with in between each others. So you can definitely work with creators with the handshake and add media spend on the content. So there is the same logic that you can find outside this platform, another platform. So there are a lot of ways for you to start having your business strategy on Pinterest, and I really suggest you to try, test and learn. If you're doing wrong, it's okay. You will redirect your strategy based on the audience answer. So you're definitely welcome wherever is your business. Let's get back on content. So let's keep in mind that the first thing when it comes to Pinterest, we are a search engine, but not only a search engine as Google maybe, but a visual search engine. So in this description, there is basically everything you need to know when it comes to content on Pinterest. Because when you bring content on this platform, you need to keep in mind that people want to see beautiful things. Doesn't mean perfect things. This is not the same thing. Beautiful things means things that resonate with the vibe of a person, things that can be representative, things that really express a way of living. Let's think about Gen Z. No, we know that they want a specific aesthetic. Maybe you guys can tell me more about it because I'm definitely older, but we know that we have aesthetic based on the age and based on the countries. So let's keep this in mind when it comes to content on Pinterest. But it's true that as a platform, yeah, we are super aware that people are overwhelmed about content creation. People are overwhelmed of taking care of this platform and this other one and creating and adapting and redoing. I mean, this is a lot, but this can also be done in a smart way. So, when it comes to starting your content strategy on Pinterest, let's keep in mind that you have a lot of tools that will help you in basically ingest content at scale. And these are the main area you can explore when it comes to content creation on Pinterest. And when it comes to what could be the best way for me to start from scratch on a platforms where I don't have any audience and I never used before. My suggestion, they are quite widely approved, are these four areas. So definitely leverage any content platform that can be helpful for bringing your content in a smart way. A lot of people that work in the social media area world, in the marketing teams, they use this type of platform. Some of them are official partner to us, so it's very safe to use them. You can just add your Pinterest profile to this platform and move forward in that direction. Be comfortable. There is no problem in using external third-party platform to bring your content on Pinterest. The easiest way, especially if you are a content creator and if you have a very strong strategy on Instagram, is to connect the two platforms. There is a very easy way from your account setting in connecting your Instagram profile, and there are different options here. You can not only add your profile and start the ingestion from that day on, but you can also bulk upload all the content you created until 360 days before. So basically, you'll be able to bring a lot of content on Pinterest and start from scratch with 3 clicks. We will see later how to optimize this content in a smart way, but just to let you know that there is a smart way to start on this platform without losing your head. RSS feed, especially if you have a blog, if you have a website, if you're a publisher, you can connect the RSS feed and let them auto-publish all the content coming from your website. But if you also if you also have CSV ready with all the content you created that can be uploaded, you can definitely leverage that to bring all the content via CSV. Sorry, I really get lost with CSV, CVS. But basically, you can definitely use it to bulk upload all your content, especially the video one. So these are the 4 areas that I really push you to explore. But the question that I normally have after is, you just told us that this is a search engine, that there is something related to SEO, there is something related to organizing content, related to the shape of the platform. And this is why I want to talk to you. This is why I want to do focus on the board part. We do all know that basically when you bring content on Pinterest, or when you search for content on Pinterest, the first things you do is save what you love on your profile, in your boards. Think about the boards as something in between a mood board and a portfolio. They can be both. You can collect all the inspiration you want to bring in your project in one board, but you can also use it to showcase all the work you have done related to a specific project. So let's keep in mind, let's start from the slide before. So let's say that we ingested a lot of content via Instagram claiming, okay? So we do have a lot of content in, when you do Instagram claiming, you will have everything collected in one board that is called social. But as you may know, in this case, you won't be able, it won't be possible for you to add keywords and things like that everywhere. So the things that I suggest you, that is very smart, is to use the board to organize your content by different type of criteria. That can be the category of your content. Let's say you are a designer, you will bring on your profile a lot of a project dedicated to website creation or illustration or something similar, like, I don't know, shapes you create in a very nice way. So you can collect everything in a board, calling all the pieces, collecting all the pieces in specific section and renominate them in the right way. Then you can divide your content by audiences. You can divide your content by specific moment of the year. Let's think about the fact that it's November, Christmas is knocking on our doors. So maybe we are working a lot on this topic. Let's start working on this also on our Pinterest profile. When it comes to boards, it comes to keywords too. So in general, everything you will do on Pinterest will be related to a keyword. You will upload content, you will add a title that is a keyword. You will collect your content, your pin from the platform into your boards. The boards needs to have a title and a description that will contain keywords. And even if you go into your boards and organize everything, your content in the category that you can see here, so in the criteria that you can see here, you will use a keyword. But where to start, to be sure that the keywords we are using are right for the platform, are right for the period we are living. My biggest suggestion, and especially if you start from scratch your strategy on Pinterest, is to start from one of the tools that I love the most, that is called Trend Tools. We will maybe share the links with you, but definitely you can have access from your desktop, your account setting in the analytics. If you scroll down on the menu, you will see Pinterest Trends tool. I really suggest you to explore it because it's a very interesting way for you to get in touch with keywords, to understand what is working and what is not working based on specific criteria like ages, location, interest. So let's say that you are designers, you're working on home decor project. So you need to understand how to create, I don't know, wallpapers for this home design brand, okay? So you'll see here, you will select this criteria and you will see a lot of inspiration coming from the platform. But when it comes to trends, it comes also to our audience. So it comes to what people are really looking for in specific moment of the year. So it's not just about something that is popping up and will disappear. It's something that is really set up into the platform's flows. So it's something that really resonates in the content. You'll see distributing the shape of the content you will have to create from that moment on. So I really suggest you all, from all the verticals, from all the category, to have a look at the Pinterest Trends tool and start maybe rebuild your strategy from here, because what is working on Pinterest is not just because of is working on Pinterest, is because people are looking for something that they want to recreate in their real life. So basically, what you can see here in the Pinterest Trends tool, it's something that you will see outside too. So I really suggest you to explore it. Together with other two things that we have, there are other two tools that really support content creation on Pinterest. There are the predicts. I don't know if you are familiar with this, but I really suggest you to Google it, because the Pinterest predicts is a report that we launch every year at the end of the year, and this will happen soon again at the end of 2025. I think around the first 2 weeks of December we should launch the new version. So basically it's a trend where we project what will be the trends that will raise in the year after. And this is very cool, not only because you will see a lot of suggestion when it comes to keywords and trends that will pop up, but also because it will give you visual inspiration about what could work and what could not work in the year after. Just to give you an idea, 8 out of 10 of the trends that Pinterest used to predict are true. So they really appear the year after. So we predicted at the end of 2024 cherry coded, and we have seen cherry as a color popping up everywhere in the world. So there are really a lot of tips and suggestions that you can use for your marketing strategy, for your website renewal. So for a lot of things that can really be helpful for you. And also have a look at the create side, that is the website, the blog that we used to share with all the content providers coming from the brand's world, the publisher world, the creator world, what they have to do. There is also an editorial calendar that you can follow to set up your strategy month by month. So I really suggest you to have a look. Maybe Penny and Nika, we can share the link after the webinar with the recording. So you will have access to all of this. And to wrap up, there are other two cool, very versatile features that I want to show you to start having creative thought about how can I use Pinterest in my day-to-day? How can I leverage this new platform to also boost my business, also, boost other platform that I'm more focused on. The first one is the collage. Collage is one of the newest features that we have on Pinterest. It was launched 1.5 years ago. And basically, you can create collages directly from the platform using all the pin that you have saved in your Pinterest profile. Just to give you an idea, this is the most loved format from Gen Z. You can see that there is 2 times the engagement compared to other type of format. And the interesting part for me is that basically when you collect all the pieces, all the pins in your collage, all of them will be linked to the original pin. So even if you collaborate with a brand or if you have an e-commerce, you can definitely create sort of small mood board based on specific trends of the products you are working. You need to push more, or all on the illustration you have created for a specific brand. So I really suggest you to be creative, use it in the best way for you. And last but not least, you can also leverage your boards to create other content for other platforms. So basically now you can share your board externally on Instagram and on TikTok as reels on Instagram, as reels as a video on TikTok, but also as a story on Instagram. And basically you can really give a glimpse of what you are working on other platform. You can bring your audience from a platform to another one. You can showcase the collection of your work you have done, based on specific trends, specific moment of the year. So there are a lot of things can be done on Pinterest, especially to simplify your life when it comes to content creation. And when it comes to the moment of life where you're completely stuck, you don't know where to start from, and you can really find a way to get inspired from a visual standpoint, but also from a keyword standpoint. So I really suggest you to join us on the platform and especially share all the questions that you have at the end of the webinar. I think the mic is to Penny and Nikki now.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I also love all of these because I actually didn't know about all of the different ways you can use Pinterest. Like I just use it to actually just pin and make my own boards. So learning all of this, like for me, it's a little bit mind blowing. I have to admit it. So thank you also for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
And for us, actually, for me and Penny, the last thing we lack is ideas. Like we're always coming up with great ideas. We're always like, oh my God, we should do this, we should do that.
That's a problem.
It's always the execution that is the problem. And that is also where a lot of teams also get stuck. So thankfully, we can use our own platform. Not everybody can. Sorry. But our platform does help us take all of our ideas and all of our inspiration from mood board or from random idea to actual campaigns without Penny and I being burnt out and burning out after every single campaign. So, without further ado, we want to look at our creative process as a very small team and explore how we manage to use Contentoo but Pinterest to bring our B2B campaigns to life. Next slide, please.
Nice. So yeah, we are visual girlies. We are
Always.
very visual people. So for us, when we have an idea, it always starts with a mood board. And of course, we use Pinterest for that always.
Duh.
Because certain things you can't capture in a brief. We look at colors, tone, and overall vibe, but sometimes like the emotion or the vibe doesn't really come across in a written format. And the only way to do it is having a load of references for like what you picture in your head. So for example, this is an actual mood board that we created for a campaign we did earlier this year called our Hot Content Summer campaign. It was actually to promote the report that we did earlier this year as well. So it was amazing. And honestly, for us, obviously it's a great fun activity to do, to like really visualize your ideas. But at the same time, it's not just cute and fun and a great activity to do with your team to get your creative juices flowing, but it's also, for me, very strategic. Like in the research that I mentioned before, we spoke to a ton of content leaders, and I think any marketer or content marketer can relate that one of the biggest headaches for all of us is the briefing and planning process. A bad brief means so much more feedback rounds and like subpar output, and it's just a recipe for disaster. I think 15% of the people we surveyed said that it was a major bottleneck that slows down their teams, and it hurts quality and it's expensive. Feedback rounds cost a lot of money. So for us, and my philosophy with a briefing anyway, it's always best to give as many details and as much inspiration as possible. Obviously not too much that you're limiting their creativity, because that's what we pay a designer for, their creative energy and like their spin on what we see. But at the same time, like you have to give them as much to work with as possible, because they are not mind readers. Like even if we think we've given all the details and everything is super clear, they can still interpret it in a completely different way. So the much clarity and the much context you give is amazing. And for us, like I think Pinterest is obviously the best place to go for a mood board. So next slide, we can show you some of the final assets from the campaign, including our report. Fun fact, Nika and I spent a whole Monday shooting content on the beach in Zandvoort. And the fact that we were even able to do that was honestly wild to me. Like when I pitched it to our lead, I kind of was joking, but he thought it was a great idea and it all really came together. We took what we had, a mood board, and then some custom visuals that we captured ourselves and briefed the team within the Contentoo platform. This way, the final product really matched exactly what we pictured. Like if you look at the slide before and the slide after, some of the images are so similar. And honestly, I think we turned everything around within a week. So it was crazy, the difference in a really solid brief, and all the input that you can give at the start of the process makes everything else go so much smoother. So this for me shows how much a solid briefing and putting in that time and effort at the beginning really makes your projects a lot smoother and a lot cheaper. And it's pretty cool because we can handle the entire campaign in one place. So we have multiple fabulous freelancers and multiple deliverables all in one brief. So when we have a new idea, like something pops up at lunch and we're super excited, and like everybody knows, when you have a good idea, you have to like strike while the iron is hot. Like you can't like leave it. You need to hop on it now while you have that, while you're in that space. So but we have a lot of other stuff we need to do. There are assets that need to be created, sales needs stuff, everybody needs help, and content is always running to keep up with the pace. And that can sometimes mean you're just doing the day-to-day work rather than getting to do stuff that really inspires you and makes you excited. So for us, it's great because we can still execute our cool ideas and hop on them and spend a day at the beach shooting cool stuff. I'm suddenly a photographer. Why not? Because we have the space to be able to play and have fun, while our amazing team of superstars on the Contentoo platform are there ready to help with the SEO blog, the report. Fun fact, I didn't write the report. We outsourced it to our amazing freelancer, Chris Worth, and he did an amazing job. And I used to be not able to outsource, like to hand stuff over because there he is. Love you, Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
But like I used to not be able to hand off things because I like to be involved in as much as possible. But for me, this was like also a growth for me to be able to hand over something so important to Chris. And he turned it around again within about a week. And it was amazing. Anyone who hasn't read the report, we will share it with you after. It's amazing. But yeah, with Contentoo, we're able to literally spend a day at the beach and execute a huge campaign and do a million other things while keeping everybody happy. So it really is the best of both worlds for us. And it makes sure that we can protect our creative spark without getting depressed from just following that content hamster wheel.
Next slide, please. So since Penny is finally able to outsource her content,
Thank God.
this leads me to the best part, which for us is that our team is actually, they already know our brand. They're not just an extension of our team. Like, we feel like they're part of our team. They care about our project as much as we do. There's so much love that goes into it and really a lot of care. Like, the more projects you do and the less time you spend reviewing, obviously, because they already know what you want. They already know what you like.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
know
they're
your
in your brain.
preferences.
So, for example, we worked with Lucas. Hello, Lucas. For our beautiful custom stickers. You can see them on the screen right now. And this is just a perfect example of the commitment we get from our network and the commitment you get when people are dedicated to your brand. Like, just look at them. They're so pretty. Like, you can tell how much love and care went into this project. And we gave him like a very minimal brief. And these were V1, like he slayed.
Yeah.
So, speaking of slaying, Lucas is now going to walk us through his creative process. Take it away.
Thank you, Nika, thank you, Penny, and also thank you, Sarah, for having me. I'm super excited to be here. As a creative person working in a creative field, as you guys, you know that creative work is exciting, but also very demanding. So for me, protecting creativity sometimes means making space for exploration, curiosity, and a little bit of fun. So I want to talk about protecting creativity throughout a playful process. Next slide, please. Let's start with presentation. My presentation, I'm Lucas Salles. I'm a senior designer and illustrator from Brazil. I have a BA and a postgrad in graphic design. I also am a young talent named by Latin America Design Award last year. And also I'm a full-time freelancer. So next slide, please. My creative process always starts with curiosity. So researching and collecting visual ideas helps me to stay inspired, and also I avoid creative block. That's also like a terrible time for me, that when I don't have ideas, I really like to open Pinterest to start like researching and starting projects with curiosity. Also, I use reference searching as a moment to breathe and decompress throughout during my routine, as like I'm just living my life through the week, or also like working a very demanding project. I use inspiration as a way to decompress and stay inspired. Next slide, please. For me, reference do not limit creativity. They unlock the directions. Finding visual connections helped me to clarify the story that I want to tell, and also helps me to give the mood that I'm thinking shapes, and also like the image that I'm trying to think in my head, like really gives me the pathway to create what I'm thinking. So yeah, like finding reference kind of helps me to unlock these directions, and also helps me to tell the story that I want to tell. After that, so now that's why I use Pinterest. I've been a heavy user since 2013. This is like an overview of my boards. I usually use for work, but also for kind of like sometimes like stuff that I want to do in my house, such as like decorations or like stuff that I want to change. But I use a lot of for work, so you can see that I have a lot of boards in illustration as like different kind of illustration, so solid, colored strokes, or handwritten illustration as well. So I use Pinterest as a way to organize my ideas, and like sometimes I like an artist and I pin them so I can get back to them and see their work, or sometimes I use them as like a reference for projects that I'm doing. For the next slide, I really want to tell that Pinterest is where my ideas start to take a visual shape. Usually when I have to find a reference for like a different character pose that I can't like really do with my body, I search like pictures for like people, like photographs, like real people doing poses, so I can use them as a reference. And also like places that I've never been to, like I really think like Pinterest is a really well curated place that artists and photographers use as like their portfolio, so I can see like throughout a lot of nice pictures, so I can be inspired by that. And like if I use Google, it's going to be like a bunch of generic images, so Pinterest is like a nice way to look up photos of places that I've never been to. So the overview gives me clarity to move forward with intention. So now I want to talk about this case study that I have. It's the art residency I did early this year in June in the summer. So it's really from pin to publish. I did our art residency in Shanghai. Can you go to next one? Thanks. I did our art residency in Shanghai. I traveled to China. It was like 35 hours, kind-ish, from Brazil. I've like went throughout the globe just to kind of find myself. And funny enough, the project that I developed there was really about what we're talking here, like stay inspired, don't like be depressed working with creativity, and also learning how to slowing down and enjoy the process because the process is the fun part of the creative work. Uh, Even though I already had the idea what I wanted to do, Pinterest helped me to organize the reference and helped me to guide throughout the entire process. So I use a lot of the features on the social part of Pinterest that I grouped pins into sections to understand the narrative and also like saved a lot of images from my iPhone there. So like it kind of became like a visual guide for every decision that I had to do during this kind of intense month that I spent in the residency. So in the next slide, you can see really like the visual board, like the pins that I saved. So there's a lot of images from other artists, but also like pictures that I took during my trip in China. And the other side, you can see the final result. So you can see that kind of like the also the juxtaposition of the two things, like the work that I did is inspired, but is like in my own kind of language, my own identity. And there I did like this kind of like traffic signs because I was really like drawn to this Chinese traffic signs. Was really beautiful to see like this kind of attention signs, but it was in a language that I didn't understand. So that kind of inspired me through that. So I did like this kind of traffic sign exhibition. So it has like a lot of messages saying like, so stop, like slow down, enjoy the moment. And also I painted two like huge canvas that I never did before, like 2 by 2 meters. So it was like a really nice experience, and I think it's a really fun case to show here, like from pin to publish case study. And also another great way to use Pinterest is as like a portfolio. Being discoverable, Pinterest connects you with a whole new audience, as like Sarah was talking earlier, and also Penny and Mika are also like showing their way of like looking through reference, doing boards, and also like you can create this like kind of narrative that can show like encapsulate like what your brand is. So like I really think like Pinterest is like a really fun way to do that. I really like when someone say to me like they saw my work on Pinterest. I always feel flattered because I think it's a really nice way to like see that my work is really resonating with people, or like people are feeling connected to what I create. The next slide, I want kind of show like this overview of my projects. And I really think that using Pinterest as a portfolio is a great way to be discovered by clients. I started using it by now. Earlier it was the stuff that my stuff that was there was people like pinning. So I'm really glad about that. So now on I'm starting using it as a portfolio as well. But I think like creativity grows when it reaches people. So feeling that people are being connected to my work is really nice. And also, it's really nice to be connected with new collaborators, clients. It's a really nice way to be discovered. So to sum up, I think giving ideas time to breathe is like make space giving ideas. It's nice to give ideas time to breathe. We have to make space for play, curiosity, and moments to decompress. For me, researching and collecting visual ideas helps me to stay inspired and avoid that terrible creative block. And I use reference gathering as a moment to breathe and decompress during my routine. So for me, protecting creativity means protecting the process and having fun. So thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
What a mic drop moment. Oh my God. Totally agree with everything that you said, but especially about protecting creativity means protecting the process. I think if anything to take away from today is that the process is as important as the creative and making sure that you're creating space for the creativity. And how do you do that? With processes. So we've come to the end of our webinar, but we would like to open up the floor if anybody has any questions. We are willing to take them for me or Lucas or for Nika. I think we have one here. Oh, this is just people trying to connect, which is also great.
Yes, do it.
Please do follow us on LinkedIn. Let's connect. Let's be friends. If you haven't already, we'll send you a follow-up with the report and any other details that Sarah mentioned earlier today about the tools with Pinterest. And if you have any questions about Contentoo or Pinterest or Lucas's work, you can contact any of us. And yeah, if we don't have any questions, then we're happy to call it a day. And thank you all for joining and spending time with us today for our first ever webinar.
So wonderful.
I think there is one comment here that I really like, and I really
Oh yeah, this
I
question.
yeah. I thought men and women would use Pinterest for different purpose in different ways, but actually the basic approach seems universal. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to think about that. You need to think about that Pinterest is a place where people build projects. No, I can show you. I could show you my boards, and I could show you my hair now, and you will definitely see the impact of this type of activity in real life. But let me tell you that we normally think that Pinterest is a women platform. I mean, it's true. There are a lot of women working on it. Just to give you an idea, the average among different countries is 60 to 70% women and 30 to 40% men. But there is 40% of men, meaning that there is a lot of activities that can be done on the platform to reach that audience. And just to talk about the type of audience, not only the relationship between men and women is that one, but just let me tell you that 46% of the audience globally is Gen Z. So we not only cover different gender, but we also cover a lot of different ages, because what we normally say is that you can find on Pinterest both your grandma and your child. Because it's true. It's true. It's a platform that can potentially reach a lot of different targets when it comes to the ages, but also the gender and, whatever. So definitely men and women.
100%.
More example for application commerce companies. Definitely. One thing that I suggest you, sorry, maybe I didn't read the question in high, with the right voice, but they were asking if there are more example for application in e-commerce companies. We can definitely maybe share some links of best, how do you call it, success case. Definitely the site that I showed you before, the Create site, also hosts a lot of stories related to successful e-commerce strategies on Pinterest. And I think that can be really inspiring. So I'll be more than happy to share it with you. What do you all consider the writer's version of Pinterest? I think I get lost with this question. Can you help me?
I guess it's like, I would say Substack if I'm going to
Ah,
suggest.
okay.
Because it's
Okay.
like where Pinterest is visual, writers are looking for like written or inspiration. So for me, I would say that Substack is really becoming that space because it's kind of short form, but also long form. And then there's also space for visuals there as well. But it's like a word-led platform. Sorry, my brain.
Definitely.
So for me, I would say Substack. Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like just reading a good book sometimes, even if it's not maybe in the topic that you're looking to get inspired by, like there's always inspiration in just going and reading something different.
He said because it used to be the library. Also, the library still exists.
Yeah, they're still there and they're great.
Love it. But let me tell you that there is a lot of spaces also on Pinterest for writers, especially for two reasons. One, inspiration, because there is a huge interest for everything is related to motivation, the kind of inspiration coming from quotes or for motivational sentences, inspiration, and things like that. Plus, if you are a writer, you can leverage the interest for this format, like the quote part or the inspirational, motivational sentences to promote your books, to promote your blogs. Because at the end of the day, if we think about Pinterest as a traffic driver and you are ready to promote your books or your articles as a journalist, as bloggers, you can definitely leverage the platform to bring some traffic there.
Definitely. I think even like having your blog images, quotes, things like that even in SaaS, you can have that on Pinterest, and it's moving towards that space where it can be used for more work and for not just for pleasure, which I think a lot of us associate Pinterest as something that we look at like that, renovating my house.
Yeah.
For
For personal.
hair color, something like that. But we've seen through this collaboration that there's so much ways that we can leverage Pinterest in our industry, and we're super excited about the new possible tools that we can use. So yeah, I think it's really interesting to see the way that Pinterest is moving from, let's say, B2C to more of a B2B as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep in mind that it's true that people are looking for, haircut or hair colors on Pinterest, but it's also true that the hair and the colors of the hair are uploaded by professionals working in that industry. And it's true that people are looking for how to renovate your house. I'm the first one. But it's also true that inspiration are coming from brands that are bringing products on Pinterest and from professional like architects or designers that are collecting those products to give their clients inspiration about what could be next. So it's true that as a B2C platform, we really answer different type of questions. But it's also true that this is the platform that professionals use to set up their projects. In any case, from fashion designers to home decor people working in that industry to chefs renewing their menu. So really there is a lot of space for different type of professionals working in the industry, both for being more known and also for being more discovered. So that's
So
it.
true. And inspiration for whatever format can come in multiple different ways. So like you can also be inspired by, let's say, a hairstyle for something else. You never know when that spark of inspiration will pop up. And it doesn't always come from like what you expect it to come from. So Pinterest is great because it has the whole diverse library of every visual ever,
Yeah,
basically.
I feel like anything you search on Pinterest you can find. Like I was literally using it to make corporate dinner settings because I wanted to like do a little decoration, and it has everything. Corporate flyers, branded merch. It has so many different things. Like you wouldn't just go and look for it. Like you might think that it's not there, but it will be probably.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that the players in these industries, like you were saying, corporate dinners, corporate event, no, there are a lot of people here possibly that realize, I don't know, illustration for table seat, that kind of stuff, but they don't think about putting all that things on Pinterest, because they think about Pinterest just a way for them to discover ideas. But it's true that it's a very nice wheel, if you think about that, you can be discovered when it comes to that type of investigation, research, basically. So is what I was sharing with Lucas too. No, bring your content, because there would be a lot of people saving your heart for having inspiration for the next job. The collaboration you did together, so Contentoo with Lucas, the stickers that are mind-blowing,
So good.
perfect inspiration for a corporate type of activation. So definitely there is
We
also
are working on our profile as we speak.
exactly. I can't wait. Can't wait.
Amazing. Perfect. Well, I think we have all the questions answered. But obviously, guys, if there's any follow-up questions or if you have anything, a spark of an idea, feel free. We will send a follow-up, but feel free to send us a message. I'm Penny. This is Nika.
Connect with us on
Connect
LinkedIn.
with us on LinkedIn, and let's all be friends. And yeah, thank you again for joining. And thank you to Sarah and Pinterest for kicking this off and getting us together for this amazing collaboration.
And thanks, Lucas, for coming and showing us your ways. It was really lovely, and I think maybe we should do this again.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
Next topic.
Really,
Great.
thank you all.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you so much for coming and wishing you a lovely afternoon.
See you soon. Ciao.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.